The mission briefing had gone south fast. The SEAL team was pinned down in hostile territory, their extraction helicopter damaged beyond repair. Commander Jake Morrison's voice crackled through the satellite radio, urgent and strained. "We need a pilot. Anyone qualified to fly a Black Hawk? We have wounded and we're running out of time." Across the operations center, dozens of elite soldiers and support staff stood ready to volunteer. But the person who stepped forward wasn't who anyone expected. "I need to know something right now. Where in the world are you watching this from? Drop your location in the comments, because what I'm about to share shows that heroes exist everywhere, in forms we never anticipate. What happens next will leave you speechless." Her name was Corporal Maya Santos, and for 8 months she had served as the unit's medic. Quiet and reserved, always in the background. She barely spoke during briefings, never joined the loud banter in the mess hall, and most of the team knew almost nothing about her beyond her medical skills. When she approached Commander Morrison, several soldiers actually looked past her, assuming she was there to treat someone. "Commander, I can fly it," Maya said softly. Morrison turned, confused. "Santos, we need a pilot, not a medic right now. We need someone who—" "I'm a pilot, sir. Black Hawk certified. 2,000 flight hours." The room went silent. Morrison stared at her, processing information that didn't match anything in her file he remembered reading. "You're a pilot? Why are you working as a medic?" "Because you needed a medic more than you needed another pilot," she replied simply. "But right now, you need a pilot." What nobody knew, what Maya had never mentioned in 8 months of service, was that before she became a medic, she had been one of the top helicopter pilots in her previous unit. She had flown rescue missions in conditions that would ground most aviators. But when she transferred and saw they were short on medical personnel, she had quietly stepped into that role instead, her flying credentials buried in paperwork nobody had bothered to read thoroughly. Morrison made the call in seconds. "Santos, you're up. How fast can you get airborne?" "Give me 8 minutes to prep the backup bird." She moved with a confidence nobody had seen from her before, the quiet medic transforming into something else entirely. Her hands flew over the pre-flight checklist with the precision of someone who had done this 1,000 times. The crew chief, who helped her prep the helicopter, kept glancing at her in disbelief. "Ma'am, I had no idea you could fly." "You never asked," she said, not unkindly, as she climbed into the pilot's seat. The flight to the extraction point was through a nightmare. Heavy winds, minimal visibility, and enemy fire lighting up the darkness. Maya flew like she was born in that cockpit, the helicopter responding to her touch as if it were an extension of her own body. Over the radio, Morrison's voice guided her in. "Santos, it's hot down here. Multiple hostiles, limited landing space. If this is too much—" "I'm coming in, Commander, mark your position. And right here, I need you to pause and tell me something. Have you ever had a hidden skill that nobody knew about until the moment it mattered most? Drop a comment, because Maya's story proves we all carry more than people see." She brought that Black Hawk down in a landing zone barely large enough, under fire, with wounded men scrambling aboard. As a SEAL dragged the last injured soldier into the helicopter, Maya made a split-second decision. She unbuckled, turned to her co-pilot, and said, "Take the stick. Keep the engine hot." "What are you doing?" "My other job." She moved into the cargo bay and became the medic again, her hands immediately working on the most critically wounded soldier, a young operator with a sucking chest wound, while her co-pilot lifted them out of danger, while bullets pinged off the armored hull. Maya performed emergency surgery in the back of a moving helicopter, her training in both roles merging into something extraordinary. She saved 3 lives before they touched down at the base hospital. 3 men who would have died in transport survived, because the pilot was also a medic, because the quiet woman nobody really knew carried 2 complete skill sets and the wisdom to know when each was needed. Commander Morrison found her 2 hours later in the medical bay, cleaning equipment, back to being invisible. "Santos, why didn't you tell anyone you could fly like that?" She looked up, genuinely surprised by the question. "You had pilots, sir." "Good ones, but you only had 2 medics for a team of 36. The math was simple. You could have been flying missions, getting flight pay, building your career as an aviator. I was saving lives as a medic. That seemed more important than my career." Morrison sat down, humbled. "Your personnel file. It lists your pilot certification, but it's buried on page 9. I never got that far. I saw combat medic and stopped reading." "Most people do, Maya said with a slight smile. We see what we expect to see. I learned a long time ago that being underestimated can be useful. People don't watch you as closely. They don't expect much. And then, when it matters, you can be exactly who they need you to be. The story spread through the base like wildfire. The silent medic who could fly like a dream. The woman who had hidden elite skills because she prioritized the mission over recognition. Within days, Maya's superiors were restructuring roles, cross-training personnel, and asking a question that should have been asked all along. What else don't we know about the people serving beside us? Maya requested to stay as the primary medic. But, she told Morrison, if you ever need a pilot again, I'm ready. 3 weeks later, she flew another extraction, this time for a different unit. And again, when the wounded came aboard, she handed the controls to her co-pilot and became the medic they needed. The soldiers started calling her Angel, the pilot medic who could bring you home and keep you alive on the way. She never sought the attention, never made her story public, never asked for recognition. But the men whose lives she saved made sure her story was told. Because sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who serve in silence, waiting for the moment when their hidden strengths become exactly what the world needs. The silent medic had changed everything, not by announcing her abilities, but by being ready when the call came, by knowing that true service means being whatever your team needs, whenever they need it, whether anyone notices or not. If this story touched something in you, if it reminded you that we all carry more strength than shows on the surface, then I need you to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button because we're telling the stories of everyday heroes who changed the world quietly. Click the notification bell so you never miss these moments that restore your faith in what people can do. Share this with someone who serves silently, who gives without recognition, who is more than anyone realizes. Let them know they're seen. Let them know they matter. Comment below and tell me about someone in your life who is stronger than they appear, who does more than anyone knows. These stories need to be told, and you can help tell them. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, the quietest person in the room might just be the one who saves everyone when it matters most.